Hey guys, today I wanted to try something a bit different. In fact, I'm starting a new format called IndieSpot. Basically, in this format I search for some freshly new indie games on itch.io most recent tab. I play them and then I give some suggestions or tips to the developers to make their game better. A game I found is called Broken Woods from Laughity, and basically the concept is your car broke in the woods and you find a pickup that lacks some parts, such as the wheels, the seats, and the steering wheel, and basically you need to find all of the pieces that are scattered around the woods, and all of this while avoiding a monster that's chasing you. Every piece you need rests on the ground inside of different brick structures, where you can also hide from the monster. I've played the game about 8 times and I managed to roughly memorize almost all of the structure's locations. There's one about directly in front of the pickup, one in front and to the right, one right next to it on the right, and then others scattered in the back of the pickup that I couldn't picture correctly. In almost every game I was always getting caught by the monster because I was wandering around without managing to find every piece. Then I gave up and I cheated a little. In fact, let's be honest, the game is dark. It is so dark that you can even see 3 meters in front of you. And yes, I know it's a horror game and it's supposed to be dark, but for me it was really hard to navigate the map in those conditions. So what I did is I started recording on OBS and I put a filter on that increased the gamma, and then I finally managed to win. After I completed the game, I thought of some improvements that this game could really benefit from, and I wanted to ask some questions to the developer. So I asked him a way to directly contact him, and then we managed to get a voice call on Discord. Hello!
Hey, hello.
Okay, first of all, are you comfortable with having this conversation recorded for the video?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. So my first question is, for how long have you been developing games, and also can you tell us a bit about your story, how you started creating games, and also what are your plans for the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. So, I started about a year and a half ago,
Okay,
and I started developing when I barely started high school,
okay.
and some of my friends, they were Roblox developers.
I also saw that you're 17, right?
Yes, yes, I'm
Okay,
17.
okay.
Just got out of high school. And some of my friends, they're already developers, or some of them wanted to be developers. So I was like, oh, let me try this, because I already had some experience with Blender,
Okay.
and I would usually do some art stuff with Blender. So I was like, oh, I could probably help them with some 3D assets and stuff. So we started taking a look and planning our game,
Uh-huh.
and we were thinking on releasing a normal game, not a Roblox game. And we spent like, I don't know, probably a month planning on what the game would be. And we had a group of 5 people. And I remember at the time, some of us didn't really go well with each other, so
Okay.
eventually the project didn't go as planned. But we at first wanted to try to develop games with Godot,
Uh-huh.
since it was open source and free and all that. But then we sort of turned to Unreal, and I got interested in how Unreal has the blueprint system.
Okay.
And yeah, my curiosity kind of carried me. So I started looking to Unreal Engine beginner tutorials and how to code and blueprints, and it kind of just got me hooked. And then I just started making games from there.
So you prefer using blueprints instead of C++ or maybe other languages?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though I am trying to schedule myself to learn, trying to force myself to learn C++ because
Uh-huh.
blueprints can be quite limiting sometimes. But yeah,
I too prefer blueprints over languages. It's a bit easier, especially if you need to prototype before you create
yeah,
a game. So, for the second question, I wanted to ask you, how long did it took you to make this game? How many hours to make
Oh,
Broken Woods?
right, to make Broken Woods. Funny thing, Broken Woods was sort of a more smaller project,
Uh huh.
and I mostly did it because I wanted to refresh my mind. Because with work and life and all that kind of gets in the way, so I kind of had to stop for a while. And I wanted to teach a new friend how to use Unreal, so I kind of had to get that refresher. So
Okay.
that's why I made that's why I made Broken Woods.
So it was more like a side project than an actual project. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was more like a side project. And if I remember correctly, I started Broken Woods uh, 8. Yeah, February 8th.
Oh, okay.
And I finished, was it last Saturday, I'm pretty sure?
Okay.
So it took me about a week. Yeah, a week-ish. But I also have my job, so I would say I can probably Broken Woods took me, like, in total, I want to probably say, like, 3 days full worth of work.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So since we don't really know what is the monster, what the game doesn't tell us what the monster really is. So I'm going to ask you, what is the real identity of the monster that's chasing you inside of the game?
So the monster in the game is, I didn't really create much lore for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to go for more like a supernatural-ish sort of monster.
Okay.
I did use a free asset, but I was planning on change it later, but I kind of just liked how the monster looked, so I
Uh
kept
huh.
it. And I was originally gonna go for something more Wendigo-like,
Okay.
so it fits the forest theme, but I kind of just kept the alien.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also when I played your games, I played your games a lot of times because I was always getting caught. I couldn't find every single part of the car. Then I obviously managed to win at the end. Is the monster a single entity or are there multiple copies? Because I saw that when I went in a place, the monster was there. Then I moved to another place and the monster was still there in this other place I went. So is the monster a single entity or is copied and pasted in multiple places?
Yes, the monster is a single
Okay.
entity. Uh, he just has a very big movement radius. So I have him randomly roam around the
Uh
map,
huh.
and I increased his radius to be very large, so he runs around the whole entire map.
Okay. And is the monster faster than the player or do they have the same speed?
If I remember correctly, I did make the monster slightly faster,
Okay.
but the monster does have 2 stages.
Oh.
So its roaming stage is where it roams around the map randomly, and it walks. So it has, I think, 300 units a second, something like that.
Okay.
And then whenever the monster gets aside of you, he speeds up
Okay.
and he plays a different sound.
So, a last question. Can the monster reach you inside of the rock structures where you can find the places for the car? Because I've seen that he is short enough. When he's crouched, he's short
Yeah.
enough to.
Yeah, so I have his hitbox slightly taller, so he can't actually get inside.
Okay.
So I kind of had to. I do have a hiding, sort of like it's pretty simple, but it's a hiding mechanic where it does a line trace to see if you're under something.
Oh, cool.
I was going to implement, yeah, I was going to implement some like possible rocks or something like that
Uh-huh.
in the map so the player can hide, but I kind of just ran out of time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It was great having you here today on this first episode of IndieSpot. And good luck with your games.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. It was a pleasure to have this interview with you.
Laughity was really kind and willing to talk, and this is great because he added a lot of context for really specific questions which targeted a single topic. Now let's talk about improvement, and before we do that we need to address the main problems of the game. First, visibility. The player has a very limited sight. Second, AI. The monster is a bit too gentle. Third, sense of direction. It's too hard to orient yourself on the map. What I would do to improve this game is I would start by increasing the visibility, so maybe I would increase just a bit the intensity of the spotlight but still keeping the same radius to maintain the feeling of being in a dark environment. Then I would change a bit the AI of the monster and make it so he gets more aggressive each time you add a new part to the car. Also, I know that this might be a bit too much, but I would add a simple compass on the screen, or maybe even a physical one, so that the player knows where he's going and isn't completely clueless. Also, I'd like to add some other improvements, such as speeding up the crouching animation and playing a sound cue when you're in the radius of a brick structure. Then there's this bug where if you die and click the button to retry, you get stuck and you need to restart the entire game. As the developer said, the game is just a side project, so these are not really problems. In fact, I think this game is really well thought and I like the gameplay. I wanna thank again the developer for being so responsive and for making this video possible, and let me know in the comments if you would have made the same changes, kept the game as it is, or made other changes, and I'll see you in the next video.